Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we've got a really interesting set of sources focusing on this key moment, a real pressure point, a massive leadership transition. Yeah, happening right before, well, one of the biggest movements of people you read about in ancient history. So our mission today is to dig into this flashpoint. We're looking at Joshua stepping up right after Moses. I mean, the towering figure of Moses is gone. And he's facing this just overwhelming task. Lead everyone across the Jordan River into the Promised Land. It's not just politics, it's terrifying logistics, military action, and the clock is ticking immediately. There's a sense of a vacuum.
Right. And what the sources really highlight, and this is so crucial, I think, for anyone facing a big change, is that it takes more than just, courage from the person in charge. We're not just getting a list of commands here. We're really unpacking how vital community support that absolute commitment is, especially when the stakes are this high. We're sort of dissecting the link between courage, obedience, and ultimately trust. When push comes to shove.
Okay, let's dive right into that timeline then. Moses is gone, Joshua steps up. And there's no pause, is there? No time for a long strategic retreat. It's immediate mobilization. The first thing we see is Joshua asserting command. And interestingly, not to everyone at once, but to the officers, the sort of middle managers.
Yes, the key personnel.
And his first order is, well, it's almost surprisingly practical, given the context. Logistics 101. He tells them, pass through the midst of the camp, tell everyone, prepare your provisions, get your food sorted. It's like inventory check before strategy.
But, and this is where it gets really intense, this simple order comes with this shocking deadline. It sets the whole pace. They're told they have to be ready to cross the Jordan and start taking the land within 3 days.
3 days? Wow.
Yeah. Non-negotiable.
For this enormous undertaking.
That detail, 3 days, it just changes everything, doesn't it? Think about moving, potentially millions of people, their animals, all their stuff, from this huge camp, getting them organized, rations secured, lined up at the river, and mentally ready for war.
That kind of deadline, it's not just about efficiency. It feels psychological. It maybe stops that vacuum left by Moses from creating chaos. It forces action.
Exactly. It makes the whole thing immediate. Not some future plan, but right now. Today's job. And that timeline itself becomes the first test. Can they even meet this logistical challenge? If not, the rest doesn't matter. It instantly shows Joshua as a leader demanding, immediate, focused results. No delays.
Okay, so that rapid mobilization is intense enough, but then the complexity really ramps up when Joshua speaks to a specific group. The Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. Those 2.5 tribes. They get a special, quite complex operational agreement.
Yes, and this is, I think, a really smart leadership move. He doesn't just issue a new rule out of nowhere. He connects it straight back to previous agreements. He makes them remember the word that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you. Specifically about the land they'd already been given east of the Jordan. It builds continuity. It gives Joshua credibility.
Right, because their situation was different. They already had their reward, didn't they? Prime land beyond the Jordan. Which you could argue creates a potential problem. Why should they risk everything fighting now? Their needs are met.
Exactly. That's the core issue Joshua tackles head on with this shared burden idea.
He makes it clear that their peace, their settlement, is conditional. Their wives, kids, livestock, they stay safe back in the land Moses gave them.
But that safety, that rest, it's like an advance payment, not the final reward.
Yeah, he spells out the condition. It's a powerful covenant, really, binding the whole nation together. He says, all the men of valor among you shall pass over armed before your brothers and shall help them. They have to be the front line.
The spearhead. They can't rest until the job is done for everyone.
Wow, so they have to lead the crossing, help the other tribes settle.
That's right. They must help until the Lord gives the other tribes rest, and they also take possession of their land. Only then can these 2.5 tribes go back to their own land. Their final rest is delayed. Their reward depends on everyone else succeeding.
That's a masterstroke, like you said. It turns potential division into necessary unity.
Absolutely. It avoids that potential selfishness.
It sets this precedent. Nobody's truly settled until everybody is settled. That's powerful stuff. But okay, this is all coming from a new leader, replacing Moses, with immense pressure and these complex demands. How did people react?
Well, the sources show a response that's just incredibly unified and powerful. It basically sets the tone for Joshua's entire leadership. The loyalty pledge is immediate, total, no hesitation. They tell him, all that you have commanded us we will do, and wherever you send us we will go.
Just like that.
Just like that. It's an instant validation of his authority. Publicly. Completely.
And they don't just agree, they actually benchmark it against the highest possible standard. They say, just as we obeyed Moses in all things, so we will obey you. I mean, that's basically confirming him as the legitimate successor right there.
It's the ultimate endorsement from the people themselves. But what's fascinating is the two sides of their response. It shows real maturity, I think. On one hand, there's genuine encouragement, a blessing. They connect his success to God's support. Only may the Lord your God be with you, as he was with Moses.
So they're wishing him well, invoking that divine connection.
Exactly. They want him to succeed. But then, right after the blessing, comes the teeth.
The enforcement part. This is where their pledge gets serious.
Dead serious. It's not like a volunteer group where you can opt out. This is high stakes.
And they declare, whoever rebels against your commandment and disobeys your words shall be put to death.
Wow.
Yeah. No room for argument, no second-guessing the mission. It's absolute buy-in, backed by the ultimate consequence.
That's accountability turned up to 11, isn't it? The people themselves enforce the discipline needed for this to work. It kind of takes that initial burden off Joshua in a way. The community itself is saying, this is the standard, we will hold the line.
Okay, hold on. This is really interesting. They pledge total loyalty, backed by the death penalty for disobedience. But then, after all that, the sources say the people turn it back to Joshua. They say to him, only be strong and courageous. The very words God had used earlier.
Yes. That's such a crucial pivot in the narrative, isn't it? If they've just given him this incredible total support, why do they need to tell him to be brave? Doesn't that hint that maybe they saw something, some hesitation perhaps, or just the sheer weight of it all on him?
It definitely changes how we read the emotional context. The sources are clear. Joshua faced an overwhelming task, taking over from Moses. I mean, who wouldn't feel daunted? It's entirely possible, even likely, he was battling fear, self-doubt, just the immense responsibility.
And the community seems to recognize that. They see his humanity, even as they grant him total authority.
So this is the aha moment we wanted to pull out for you, the listener. That vital encouragement, be strong and courageous. It wasn't just from God, top down.
It also came from the people, from the ground up. It's this unity of voice, divine authority, and human operational commitment that creates this incredibly solid foundation.
Think about that in your own context. Maybe you're leading a big team, maybe just navigating a tricky project with a couple of colleagues. Imagine your boss, or whoever your authority is, trusts you completely. And your team, the people with you in the trenches, they don't just agree, they actively support you. They offer that blessing, and they commit to holding everyone, including themselves, accountable. That's the kind of environment where fear doesn't paralyze, it focuses.
That's really the definition of leadership we're seeing here, I think. Strength that comes from God, yes, but it's also deeply rooted in and supported by the community. The sources talk about this idea of all things working together, this kind of unified force. When you have support from above and below, that's when things happen. Leadership isn't really about being fearless, is it? It's more about acknowledging the weight, trusting the mission, and stepping up anyway. Because you know your team is with you, they've got your back, and they're holding that line together.
That is such a powerful takeaway. Okay, so let's recap quickly. We saw the immediate mobilization, that tight deadline, the really clever operational command for the 2.5 tribes, ensuring shared burden.
The conditional rest.
Right. Then that astonishingly absolute pledge of obedience from everyone.
Coupled with the blessing and the harsh accountability they imposed on themselves.
And finally, how that unified encouragement from both God and the people fueled Joshua's ability to lead.
Absolutely. It's a clear picture. Clear commands, tight timelines, shared ownership, and loyalty paired with accountability. That's how you navigate massive change. We've seen courage is essential for a leader, obviously, but it's magnified, it's made practical by that team support and the team's own commitment to discipline.
So we've seen courage isn't just internal, it's reinforced externally. Which leads us to the final thought for you today. If you're in a position where you need to lead boldly, maybe facing your own Jordan River crossing, what specific actions do you need to take?
Yeah, what concrete steps are needed to build that kind of unified support in your team? The kind that includes both real encouragement and that deep pledge of loyalty and mutual accountability. That's something to think about as you prepare for whatever challenge lies ahead.